Welcome back to Secret Weapons. My name is Mark Johnston, and if this is your first time here, this is a YouTube channel we do gear demos and reviews, as well as studio tips and tricks for leveling up your writing, your playing, and your production from the perspective of a guitar player working out of a studio. If that's the kind of thing that would appeal to you, please hit that subscribe button and stick around for future videos. And today, we are taking a look at the Cave and Canary Solaris. We're going to try to keep this relatively brief so we can get to our sound samples. But for the uninitiated, Cave and Canary Guitars is a company started by Casey Crescenzo of the Deer Hunter back in 2014. And it is a really interesting kind of project or company from my perspective for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is just the fact that I have been a big fan of the Deer Hunter for a long time. And I have been aware of this company for some time now and have been really enamored with a lot of the designs that they have come out with. And two, more broadly speaking, I think it's very compelling when artists, touring musicians, those kinds of people enter into this space because they usually bring a eye toward practicality that full-time luthiers sometimes don't have. And without getting too much inside baseball, this is a guitar coming from a factory in South Korea that produces for other builders and other companies in the US that are pretty well known for great quality import guitars. I think we are really at an interesting inflection point in the industry where South Korean guitars hold their own incredibly well against anything I own in much higher price points these days, which is a nice place to be because it makes things coming in under $2,000 feel really premium alongside a lot of companies that are now edging up into that $3,000 to $5,000 range. But stepping away from the company as a whole and just taking a look at the Solaris, the latest model from Cave and Canary, is to see an instrument that I almost feel like was tailor-made for my tendencies. I am obviously a big fan of offset guitars, and this is a great kind of take on the offset design. I am also as anybody who watches this channel will know, massive fan of my Telecaster and Telecasters broadly, but in specific my Telecaster, that classic single coil lipstick combination, 3-position switch, all the kind of basics. So much so that it feels very serendipitous that this comes in with a maple neck, maple board, and a butterscotch blonde finish. I mean, come on. If this is not a guitar designed in a lab to appeal to me, I don't know what is. But this is also a thin line guitar with an F-hole and a contour on the back. Let's line this up so you can see the light kind of break against. There you go. Body contour, which makes this a thin line offset that is incredibly comfortable to play. And not only is it comfortable on the body side of things, being pretty light, obviously, but you have kind of a classic like C shape with a satin finish on it. It has a little bit of a vintage feel without feeling too much like a baseball bat. But importantly, for me at least, satin finish. So there is no kind of lacquer stick going on here. It feels very kind of effortless and comfortable to play. The fretwork is great. These are stainless steel medium frets. There is no fret sprouting on the sides. I have found no dead spots on the neck. The neck arrived pretty much perfectly straight, super comfortable. For those of you who care more about the nerdy details than me, you have 18-to-1 locking tuners, and the pickup set in here is a Cave and Canary Telecaster set. I don't know if those are in-house or white labeled from somewhere else. All I know is they are labeled as Cave and Canary T-style pickups. As you probably could tell from that intro and on any other things you've heard on this guitar, and as you will hear in your sound samples coming up, this is very much a true to form Telecaster sound, but a little bit different than what I already have. My actual Telecaster definitely has a little bit more growl and bite and kind of like high-end sizzle on the bridge, and between the thin line and probably just the winding on the pickups here, you've got a little bit more bell tone, a little bit rounder of a sound that is a really great counterweight, but still gives you bite and clarity where you need it. The bridge pickup here, it's a T-style lipstick. It's going to sound great. You heard it on the intro, you'll hear it in the sound samples. This is, for my money, one of the best styles of pickup on the market, and it sounds great in a semi-hollow guitar like this. It came out of the box in a Cave and Canary gig bag. I have had no setup done on it. I have not even changed the strings on this. It came out a few weeks ago or a month or two ago at this point. I have played it a bunch. I have used it in videos on this channel. I have used it in a bunch of recordings, and I haven't had to do any work on it. It just kind of came ready to play, which is kind of what you want when you're getting a guitar from a company by guitar players, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and get into our sound samples. We're going to go ahead and do like kind of more of a no talking style approach. I'll put some text on the screen to illustrate what we are doing from section to section. But all you really need to know is we're going to start by plugging the Solaris directly into my Benson Monarch Plus. No pedal board, just directly in. We are mic'd up with a Royer 121 recording into a Soyuz Lakeside. We will then kind of bring in the pedal board to play with some boosts, some overdrives, some delay and reverb. Again, we'll notate it on the screen as we go through it, but let's go ahead and let's give the Solaris a listen and get into our sound samples.